Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Property Manager's Desk. I'm Tiffany Eisenhower with Freedom Property Management and Sales. This is our second video in our April series where we're talking about fair housing. And in Virginia and in the real estate world in April, it's all about fair housing. Making sure that our colleagues are hearing it more often, being extra trained on it, that extra focus to make sure that we're keeping fair housing and anti-discrimination top of mind. So specifically in Virginia, fair housing prohibits housing discrimination in public and private housing sectors based on a number of different protected classes. Those protected classes include race, color, religion, national origin, sex, elderliness, familial status, disability, source of funds, sexual orientation, gender identity, and military status. Now, one of those protected classes kind of stands out above the rest when it comes to the number of complaints that are put into HUD and into the real estate board. Not to say that all the others aren't important, but disability has had a huge rise in the number of complaints that are being sent in. And that's for a number of different reasons. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about the disability piece and how that affects those of us in the property management and rental world. First, the definition of disability is an individual that has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities. Those major life activities could be things such as walking, talking, seeing, breathing, taking care of themselves, or working. And so that's a big assistance that's needed with those individuals that have disability-related needs. Now, the Fair Housing Law requires that housing providers not put rules or policies in place that might unintentionally discriminate individuals with disabilities. And if there is a rule or policy in place, that the housing provider be open to making exceptions or accommodations to those rules or policies if those rules or policies would otherwise have a discriminatory effect on an individual with a disability. So let's take one rule or policy that we see a lot of in the rental world, and that is the rule of no pets, or limiting the number of pets, or limiting the weight of pets, or the breed of pet. So first of all, when we look at pets and fair housing, they're not referred to as pets. You refer to an animal that is assisting a disabled individual as either a service animal or an assistance animal. And an assistance animal could include companion animals and emotional support animals, or ESAs, and they provide a therapeutic benefit to a person with a disability. An assistance animal is not required to have any special training, certifications, or licenses. Now, a service animal is one that performs tasks for the disabled individual. So a service animal would be more of your seeing eye dog, whereas an assistance animal could be a cat, could be a hamster, and according to fair housing, could also be things such as ferrets, parrots, snakes, pigs, and chickens. The important thing to remember here is that the accommodation must be allowed. There are certain steps that the housing provider can take to verify the disability and verify the disability-related need. However, at the end of the day, it needs to be allowed in the property. That animal is then looked at very similarly to how you would look at a walker, how you would look at a wheelchair. There's no additional fees, no additional rent, no additional charges to have that animal in the home. Now, that animal does have to abide by all the same rules and regulations as are in the lease. The animal needs to not be a nuisance. The occupants and the tenants need to clean up after the animal. The animal must be on a leash or otherwise contained appropriately when it's outside of the dwelling unit, and should not be left alone for long periods of time inside the dwelling unit. The animal also needs to be appropriately vaccinated, and if there is licensing for animals in that jurisdiction, then they need to have the appropriate animal license. So again, that is one of the hot topics in the property management world is the assistance animal type of thing, and one of the biggest conversations that I have with prospective owners. So if you have any questions regarding this and how it may affect you and your rental property, or if you have a real estate related need that we may be able to assist you with here in Northern Virginia, we'd love to help you out. Give us a call. Have a great day.